Hi, my name is Alexander Hill, and before I do my presentation for my term paper, I'd like to introduce the interview that I interview. Her name is Lorraine Mason, and she told me a lot of facts about the Beatles. She was in her 20s in the 1960s, which was famous for the Beatles roaming through America, and I think it was a great opportunity because she's my aunt, so I think it was good. So let's go back to the 1960s. America in the 1960s were facing a lot of issues. They were going on with the Cold World War, space program, civil rights. JFK was trying to giving new ideas to America, like a new frontier. Now, for the Beatles, a British rock band, when it came to America in the 1960s, it changed mostly Americans' youth, like people in their 20s. And I was quite surprised of how she told me a lot of facts of how the Beatles changed America. Now, let's start off with Beatles made a lot of love songs like Help, All You Need Is Love, and I Want to Hold Your Hand, so much more. That basically encouraged youth to get involved with sex, and it encouraged a lot of divorce, a lot of single mothers. Basically, it increased even abortions as well, which happened throughout the 1960s, the 70s, and even in the 80s. So also, I was quite surprised that she told me that a quote from a song, "Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds," encouraged youth to do drugs, because that song was basically about drugs, and encouraged a lot of youth to do drugs, which increased heavily during the 1960s and so on to 70s and 80s. You get it. Basically, and I was surprised how she told me, quote from John Lennon, that the Beatles were more popular than Jesus Christ. It changed a lot of the religion. I mean, the youth were believing more in the Beatles than the Bible itself, and it changed a lot of beliefs in religion. Now, with the effects of the Beatles during the 1960s, encouraged a lot of youth to listen to groups of bands, like genres like rock, disco, country, and even so much more. How does that affect youth like me today? Well, basically, if you look around in my public school, White Pine High School, it shows groups of people, groups of teenagers as youth, as in their society. As you could tell, if you were really into country songs, a lot of people would dress up in country. They wear a lot of country uniform and wore cowboy hats and all that. Otherwise, if you were into heavy metal or extreme extreme bands, people would dress up in dark clothes, like black and all that, and it would change bunch of bunch of voices in them, and it would be and it's basically a clash. It was America's youth today still listen to what music they believe. I believe the music is what changes a lot in youth, and not just youth, over every American citizen. And it changes. It's like groups of people. You got country folks right here. You got heavy rock bands. You even got disco going on still in America. A lot of disco fans like the Bee Gees. A lot of people would do that. So I'd like to thank you for listening to this. I'd like to thank Lorraine Mason for doing the interview for me. Tell me a lot of facts of how the Beatles changed America. Thank you.